Hey family, welcome to this episode of Reminisce Podcast, where we come to explore the journey of healing, growth, and finding our way back to ourselves and each other. I am your host, Jay Tache. Hey, and so, listen, I told my friend earlier that I really enjoyed filming at home. I'm like, okay, I found it. I found my feng shui, I feel like. And so, welcome to my home. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a set change, but it's such a. I feel so good. Clear. I feel good. And today I have a sweet soul, just somebody I met by chance. And it has blossomed on its own. I feel like our relationship, I think we both saw how electric it was. Yeah. And I value the fact that we both allowed time to do what it was doing. Oh, and we didn't try to create something that wasn't that part authentic. Yeah. We didn't try to force anything. We didn't try to. So I'm like, Dana, we kind of like we both value timing and just
and not forcing it. We knew that this moment was going to happen before we knew it was going to happen.
That's crazy.
And we also just knew that we have something so special to share with one another. And when we met each other, 3 years ago? Yeah. Or like we spoke on the phone for the first time 3 years ago, and we just felt, I know this girl. We need to meet each other. Months later?
I didn't even meet you until almost a year later.
Okay, was it a year? I feel like it probably.
I was pregnant with Nova, and by the time I saw you, she was like 4 months.
Yeah. But we always knew that like it was going to be something special, and we didn't have to worry about like hanging out and figuring out what the mission is. It was just like we don't know why this little connection happened, but like I'm just gonna love you, and
I'm enjoying making these mature friendships, having these mature friendships. Like right. I had to heal from like being a codependent friend and thinking like to be friends that we had to talk on the phone every day or different things like that. But I'm glad that we met. And if you don't know, this is Miss Dana Hughes. She is the owner of Liberty Nutrition here in Youngstown, Ohio. Wonderful business, honey. Okay, I have a mega tea problem, but if you haven't met her, that's who she is. She is very educated on fitness. She used to be a teacher. She's very smart. And she has a lot to say as far as just. I love that everything that comes from you, that it's flowing from like a good place, like rich soil. You know what I mean? And nobody knows how difficult that might even be to show up in that way consistently.
That part.
Business ownership, relationships. I think we do. We don't realize how much we are really pouring into our communities. And so I do want you to kind of let the people know who you are, and then we're going to get into
You're about to make me tear, guys.
Why?
Already?
They've been crying since you walked in.
I did. I started bawling my eyes out the moment I walked in.
Literally.
We can get to the reason why, but I'm kind of already feeling teary-eyed because it's like naturally I am a very happy person, and I am always just like, I tell people I'm always like all the time, and that's because of God. I will give that all to Him.
Literally,
I give it all to Him.
You said that.
So basically, I just thank God for my personality. I'm always so happy, and just it's a very natural like thing for me. I think ever since I was a little girl, my mom, her friends would always say, or she had this one friend who would say, "Don't ever try to change Dana. Like, let her be who she is." Because I think even when I was such a little girl, like, I was always outspoken and goofing around and always, like, really worried about other people, like, if they're having a good time. And, there's a lot of pros and cons to that.
The people-pleasing thing. We learned that early, right?
Yeah, and, like, it was natural for me. Like, I've always wanted to be friends with everyone. And, I'm so grateful for that. But when you were mentioning, like, behind the scenes, like we all know that we're all experiencing our own like lessons and situations, whether it's relationships, whether it's family stuff, whether it's health stuff, whatever it is, it's like there's a lot of the times where I get to leave that at the door when I walk into my business or just in life, because I don't choose to let it weigh me down, and I choose to like be stronger than the lessons and experiences that I'm experiencing.
And that's a skill in itself.
But it can be exhausting, and there's times where if I were to experience half the things I'm experiencing right now 5 years ago, I don't know how I would have handled it, you know? So it's like finding the tools and the mindset and working on those things, so when things are hard, it doesn't demolish me. It just allows me to like just continue to figure it out so I can get to the next level or whatever that is. But yeah, no, my personality, I give that to God. And even my problems and troubles, I'm like, you know what? I know I'll just figure it out. So I give that to him too.
Yeah. And it's hard to convince yourself of it sometimes. So when you find that anchor you figure your way out of whatever, you know? Yeah. And so it brings me to a couple of questions. My first one is, what did I put out here? So we'll start with healing from trauma and therapy. Now, we both know that we are big on therapy. Like, if that's something you need to progress in life, absolutely do it. Yeah. I'm in therapy. I'm glad to be in therapy. Yeah. It's very helpful. So have you had any of your own times of therapy, or you had your own versions, or did you actually go sit in with someone?
So both. I first did a lot of just like personal development, and I think before stepping into like this career of owning my own business, I never knew what like personal development was. And like that was a word that I needed to hear. So maybe this is a word that you need to hear as well. But personal development is finding something that allows us to reflect on who we are, educate ourselves, in so many other ways. But I started to hang around people who did journal work. So the basics of that, and something I do with a lot of my clients, is gratitude and affirmations. And I remember thinking, because I was very stubborn. I still kind of am stubborn. Like, I'll roll my eyes if I don't really feel like doing something, whatever. But my now best friend ever, her name's Fifi, she like got me a journal, and she told me to start writing 10 things that I'm grateful for and 10 affirmations. And at this point in my life, this was back when I was like 23 or 24, so almost like 6 years ago. Even though I was this happy, lovable person who always wanted to have a good time, I had like a lot of like, I don't want to say demons, but like I had a lot of just like negative things weighing over me when it came to like my self-love. I was bullied really bad in middle school. Same. And I like literally just looked in the mirror and I hated myself.
It tore me up.
I actually was very like keeping it 100. Like I wanted to like end myself in middle school because I didn't know how to properly like receive other people's hate. And moving forward, when it came to that, it's just like I like looked in the mirror, was never good enough, you know. So like always like having this look, I always was like pulling my face back. I wanted to get work done. I like didn't look good or whatever. I just would talk so down.
And you compare yourself to every other kid you see. You're like, oh well, this that. My preteens going through this very thing now.
And you know what? This is the one thing. And if you have a teenager, if you, maybe you can share this with your daughter. And I share this with a lot of kids, and I kind of. Maybe my parents said this to me, I don't know, but there's going to be people who think you are the most beautiful person in the entire world, and there's going to be people who don't, and that is okay. And I think me hearing that as I got a little bit older, I kind of just needed to hear that. Yeah. Because it's like we're always trying to find or like seek the approval from everybody, but like, why?
And social media now makes it like...
Yeah.
It has
social media is so fake.
Everything.
So, and you'll find the real authentic people on there. I mean, it's not all fake, but also remember, it's people are really only posting the good, and if they choose to show the bad, people are still hated for that. So it's like you can never win.
I think
you can never win.
At a young age, I wish I spent more time finding that love for myself. Yeah. And then I also grew up, you know, when you grow up without both your parents, or, you know, that a little girl without a father, or different things like that. Yeah. It weighs on your level of self-love. Like, it's needed. The balance, the all that, the affirmations, the things you need. If the kids are filled up before they go out into the world. Not saying they're not going to get bullied, but I try to like pack them with as much
and you're just building that armor
as I can, right? Yeah. And I didn't have an armor.
Yeah. Well,
I was in there. I was a punching bag, baby. It was terrible. It was so bad, and it made me hate myself too. And and then what for me, and I don't know if anybody else can relate to it, but I went out in the world and tried to find a place to belong. And it caused me I learned a lot. It made me who I am, and I don't regret my journey, but I also caused myself a lot of avoidable trauma, self-inflicted trauma, putting myself in places I shouldn't have been in. And I ended up, I think I hurt myself more than I helped myself, but all in all, I count it all joy. I've survived. Yeah. And I'm here, that I got to be thankful for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm at the mindset of like, no matter what, like all the trauma and all like the really hardships that we've experienced growing up, like, again, we can't go back and fix it. It literally only shaped us to now be relatable for somebody else. And like things have happened even in my life, and it's just like I know people that have experienced the same thing and they choose to stay a victim from that. And again, I will never judge somebody who's choosing that, because who am I to judge somebody else's journey and their lesson through whatever that is? But for me, it's like I'm still alive and I'm okay. So I'm okay.
Literally, sometimes if I feel like my anxiety is going up, I'll just be like, "You're okay. You're okay. Yeah. You're okay." Like you literally got to talk to yourself. Like tell yourself, "Hey, you're all right. You're okay." It's helpful.
So I basically, when it came to my friend Fifi, she taught me how to do the affirmation. She taught me to do the gratitude, and I would get to the nutrition club. So my friend had a nutrition club up in Cleveland, and this was a part-time job while I was teaching elementary school. And I would have my hot tea, and I would and I would kind of just repeat it. And honestly, I didn't love myself to the point where I didn't know how to do the affirmations, that I had to go on YouTube and look up like affirmations just to copy it. Yeah. And it got to the point where I just started to believe, and I wanted to believe, and I wanted to be better. I wanted to be nicer. I just knew that I wanted change, because realistically at the time too, my friends were not on the path that I was. And I just knew that if I want change, I get to change. So with that, I started to just do that first. And then over the time, like I was in a relationship where this dude, like I'm so grateful for all my relationships, but I was turning very like FBI. Like I always had to be 10 steps ahead, like that type of relationship where you have their location and then they're not answering at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then like I'm waking up. Like it was so heavy, and it's just like, this is so ugly. And I don't want to be this person, and I don't want to have to be 10 steps ahead. So I ended up going to my gyno. This is crazy. And I had like a conversation with her, and she was like, well, I could tell that you're super stressed. Like this is when she was like, well, have you ever been seen for ADHD? Because like that was always a problem. Like growing up, I've always just been so wound up. And I'm so open about this now. I'm dyslexic, and I was getting tests done because even though I was always getting really good grades, I was the kid who always had to start early. And there would be so many nights where I would cry because like I would be just so mentally exhausted from school, and I was like just super stressed from school, and then working, and then having part-time jobs. And from that, my gynecologist was like, well, why don't you go to therapy? And that's how I did therapy for the first time. So that was the point of the story. But I ended up going, and I know therapy, I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's stupid, or why would I tell a stranger my problems? But it's like, when you go into that with the mindset of that, you're not going to get anything. But if you go in at least open to like anything can happen and just hope that it helps you.
Yeah. And keeping it in, what has that done for you?
Yeah, clearly So to me, I went and I was able to kind of work through my relationship at the time. But it also opened up some things from my childhood. And So that was super amazing for me because it's just the realization, and when you can connect the dots, that's when growth happens.
It's those dots.
Them dots. I don't talk about dots. They're all in my diary.
So, okay, let's get to the diary, as a matter of fact. So, I'm not sure what's in there, but...
Oh.
Dana brought her diary, y'all.
I did. I don't know
her Bible, like, we suited up.
Oh, my goodness.
So, go ahead. I mean, you're more than welcome to share. I mean...
let me just show you.
Oh!
And this is, I always bring this picture. I'll have to share the camera and a little picture of me.
Oh, how cute.
So the more you get to know me, because I was on a podcast before, so if you've listened to that, you kind of heard a little bit more about my business. But I guess I'm just going to show the camera this. Please. That way you guys can see. This is what I keep in my diary. It's a picture of me and my favorite animal. He's passed away. His name was Socks, and then a little picture of me. So this is actually going to be something I recommend to my clients as well, like whenever I'm personally working with people. Always remember at the end of the day, like, you're still this little human being. And I know you have your baby pictures over there, but it's like you should put one a little bit closer to you so you can see, like, at the end of the day, like, this is who you're working with. Yeah. And breath work is one of those things that are probably the most important thing that we can all focus on when it comes to healing and whatnot. But just remember, like, you're still the little person that you were X amount of years ago. And it's like, and that little person also still needs love. Y'all, if I hear a little jingling, it's my little kitty Luna. She is rolling around this ball playing underneath the camera. It makes me so happy. I'm so happy she's playing. I love my kitty. She's so happy. Aww. Never thought I would like to have a cat and like love her. Okay, that's why I was crying when I got here, because she literally was like, oh, like, and it looks just like her cat. If she comes over, let me tell you, yes, she's playing right now. And Socks passed away almost a year ago on the 15th. So when this is released, it might be. But they're like identical. That was wild. She walked in here and she just started crying. My whole heart, because that's a sign. Like, listen, like, there's so many signs that will align you with where you're going. You just have to be open to receiving them. And Luna was the name of my first cat I've ever had. That's crazy. So like, oh my God, that was my cat's first name. My first cat's name. You connected some dots as soon as you walked through the door. And Socks was like, nah, you're on a good mission right now. Period. So that's cool that he's with me right now. But anywho, back to, she keeps that in there. I love that. So let's talk about the things of 2025, right? Yeah. We're gonna talk about the big aura. Relationships. Yay. Oh my God. It's like the topic every year though. You know, they're so hard. They're so hard. Yeah. Well, no, I take that back. I don't mean they're hard. I think dating is hard. Being single can be hard, but it's also can be very like freeing. I've had such a healing single life. I love it. I've had such my single life has been filled with a lot of growth and just tapping into me. Yeah. And I'm not saying willingly. I went into this kicking and screaming. The spirit drugged me by the leg. Yeah. I'm like, why would it be easy? No. Girl, it was real dramatic, and it was just like, once you stop fighting it and you just join your journey. Your journey is waiting for you to just join it. Just go where your movie reel is already playing. So whether you're in each frame or not is up to you. I don't want to miss any parts of my life that I'm supposed to enjoy or experience or learn from or whatever. You know what I mean? But relationships. Inviting people into your world, trusting people, it's hard. Especially when you want to date and be close to God. When you have a spiritual relationship and you have that, I think it scares people sometimes. I have to think because this girl's too damn positive. Like I said in the beginning, I don't care what kind of relationships I've had in the past because some of them were just insane. But again, I'm so grateful for them. Like, I remember there's been multiple relationships where I've bawled my eyes out in bed, praying to God to just like let me just heal and just like please just like let me just be okay with like whatever it was. And I think heartbreak is amazing. I'm just gonna throw that in there because
that's a line.
I think heartbreak is probably, I swear it's the most amazing thing.
Oh.
And I do still work with a lot of kids, and like they tell me they're going through these breakups, and I like get excited for them. I'm like, this is so good.
You're about to learn something about yourself.
So freaking much. I'm like,
you do learn a lot. I'm not saying it's amazing.
No, it's so terrible, but it's it's so hard and it hurts so bad. But also, like yin and yang, you have to have both. Like, it also hurts so good. Because you don't know the good. Listen, I just know that, like, every single heartbreak that I've ever experienced, it's just, I'm so beyond grateful for it. And it's, like, allows me, again, if you're choosing to do the work, like, if you choose to, like, take a step back, what did I learn from this relationship? Then it gets better. Mm-hmm. Then it's amazing, Yeah. But if you're just going to the next person and you're not actually stopping to heal and you're not like learning from that past relationship, then you're just going to be in the same cycle, and then it won't be amazing.
I think a lot of people are in relationships with other people without being in a relationship with themselves.
Yeah.
And you have to really have a relationship with self first.
Yeah. If you don't love yourself, I'm gonna.
And not like, oh, I love me. Oh, I love me. I'm very, no. Like,
no, it's different than that.
Get ugly with yourself.
Yeah.
And love all those pieces, the broken pieces, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you don't genuinely love yourself and you're not happy by yourself, then how would you ever expect to be happy in a relationship? Yeah. And I think I do work with like a lot of younger, like teenagers and young, like 19, 18-year-olds, but also like young 20-year-olds. And I hear it a lot. It's just like they will get out of a relationship and they look for that attention because, we're all human. We like the attention. We're supposed to have that companionship. We're supposed to have that, but they're not setting their standard high enough to like.
I think people don't like the challenge of filling their own cup. I think once you get by yourself, you find out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not as exciting as I thought I was. Like, you have to really start enjoying yourself.
Yeah, date yourself.
That way, when you do meet somebody, I feel, you can teach them how to love you too. But in order for you to teach someone how to love you, you gotta teach you how to love you. Yeah. But if you don't spend time in it, you can't be upset with the next person for missing things and having a misstep because you didn't fill your own hole. You have to come whole, and I think people forget that. Like, I don't want anyone to be my other half.
Yeah. Oh no, we're not doing that. If that's what you're doing, we need to reflect.
I have a whole thing already, but we can have another. We can have another. Our world. There's my world. There's our world, and then there's your world.
And nothing's permanent. and it just comes down to the reality of nothing's permanent.
Nothing lasts forever.
Right. So if you're not so solid yourself, and I'm not saying you're not going to still be on your own like journey of like figuring things out. We're not going to be perfect, but it's like. If you're depending on someone else to make you happy, then you should not be in a relationship. Yeah. But, again, everyone's journey is on
when them. You've been devoid of something for so long, and when you've been deprived of a certain amount of love and affection or emotional wherewithal, just, I think sometimes when we don't have something and then we see what that looks like and we don't understand why we don't have it, and then you really yearn for it. I think there's some things that I'll always want. I'll always want to be a wife. I'll always want to have a family. I will always want that. Right. Although I am enjoying and making the most of my singleness now. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. When that time comes, I'm gonna be ready for it too. I'm ready to receive it. Yeah. But I also don't want to keep praying for something that I haven't prepared myself for. The worst thing to me is for everything that I prayed for and asked God for to show up, and I wasn't even ready. Yeah. The big question is, how are you waiting? I feel like I'm working on how I'm waiting. When he does come along, he's going to want to see she's got her own thing going. Yeah. I don't want to be like, I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Right. You want someone, they'll catch you as you're on your path. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think we miss people that we probably should have met because we weren't on our course. And then we've met people that we probably would have never met
had
we been on track. But we do what we do, and God just sits around and he'll be like, I'll wait till you're done.
No, literally. And then on top of all that too, everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen.
And I got tired of hearing that.
I know, but it truly, truly, truly is, because it's like, I sit here when it comes, I'll throw in a little business example. Like, there's different levels to network marketing, and obviously there's different things that I can work towards. And like, as I build a team and I build an organization and I build like a community of like-minded people, I can sit here and pray, God, I want to be a president's team member. Like, that's like top 1% of the company. But then there's two things. One is I have the realization that I don't have that yet because I have not done the work to be able to hold that space. So that's why it's not here yet, because I still have a lot to learn before I can take care of hundreds of people. You know what I mean? So it's like having that awareness. But then also too, like, I also get to stop saying I'm not ready. Like, I'm not ready to hold that space yet, because then I'm still like slowing it down. So like, just finding like that happy medium of like, I'm ready when it's ready for me. And all I can really do is like love the journey until I get there.
Yep, and keep stepping.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we wait for God to put us in positions, and sometimes he's just waiting for us to move our feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So do you are you dating?
Oh, that's a wild question to ask. So for 2025, I actually declared to myself that I wanted to marry myself. And in my diary, I guess I can open that up. I always do this every year. I always try to write out my list of goals. And I've always been a relationship girly. I've had some relationships that were okay, in my past, that have challenged me. And then I had a most recent 3-year relationship, and to keep it super short and simple, it was the most pure and most amazing relationship. And I'm still working through just accepting the 360 switch from the previous relationships to the most recent 3-year relationship, where I was treated so amazing. And I think it was just a reality check of this is how it's supposed to be. And it was so safe, and I felt so loved.
I feel because I've been in those spaces, right, where I'm friends with someone or we have some type of rapport, and there'll be feelings, and there'll be it'll feel like this is right, he's this, I'm that, it all will make sense, but it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Not even dating wise, but just in my air. And so I feel like God does that sometimes. And it's just I made it up myself. I'm not saying he said that, but in my mind, I feel like I've had a lot of encounters where he's put me in spaces to spend time with different people because he wanted me to see what that looked like. He's so strategic. And I feel like he gave me a visual. I've met different men in my life, whether it be professionally, romantically, or just, friends, whatever. And I can name a few guys that I know and that are in my world still to this day that have taught me something about myself.
Right.
I've worked with people from all over the world, and I have learned different things from different people. So I think he shows us what we want, so we know what it feels like, what it looks like. Because he wants you to recognize it when it comes.
Oh, yeah.
And not everything he sends is supposed to be yours. He's like, no, I just wanted you to see that. I want you to see what that feels like. So next time when it comes and when you're ready and prepared for it, you'll recognize it. But I don't know. I'm real sentimental and emotional,
Yeah.
And 2024 was a year from 2024 for me was a year that I really recognized how much I was struggling with not having companionship. Not just being a single mom, but I'm a lover girl too.
Right.
I wake up in the morning and that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but as I continue on my path now, because she cry about it all the time. She's so many.
I love to cry.
Girl,
it's so good.
We cry over here, okay? It's okay.
It's so good to cry.
But I also realized, like Jasmine, you asked for a close relationship with God. You also asked for him to send you a husband. He's not going to do anything out of order. He's not going to do anything halfway. If he feels like you're not ready for it, he's not going to give it to you. And then I also realized as I started to grow and heal and mature and really become the woman I am, I realized that, Jasmine, when he does come, because I'm sure he got it. When he does come, why would I not want to be prepared? I want him to feel like he found something. I want to be whole.
Yeah.
So that way I want to be able to.
You don't want to be broken going into something. You
not at
just
all.
Be like, oh yeah,
and God loves us so much that he's not going to give us something and let us go into it halfway. He's not going to let you go into something that is in his will and for you to have. And you're going in there in pieces. That's not God. He doesn't. That's not how he works.
Yeah.
If he sends something, it's going to be in full completion, right, in order. And I think that's been my like how I know like nope, nope, nope. Like nice, but you know what?
But it's not. But again, like sometimes it's still going to be like confusing at the same time. Like it could still be like yes and no because it's. I don't want to say it's going to be confusing because I feel like you just know.
Yeah, I don't think God sends anything with confusion.
Yeah, but
nothing.
But in the midst of like it all happening, like maybe just forgiving ourselves for like if we like bring out past like oh maybe this is not going to be for me or like whatever because we have to remember like we letting go of that so we don't bring it into like
healing.
The next relationship.
Healing. Wounds. Yeah. And you know what I mean? We don't always want to do it in the time that it takes. We want to just like, hurry up, come on. Like, I'm over it now, right? Yeah. But it's like he doesn't let us skip steps.
Yeah.
And he doesn't let us halfway heal. He loves you too much for that. You know, as much as we might want a thing. Yeah. And I had to learn that. It was a hard lesson for me.
So I think I have to... That's why, so for 2025, I told myself I was going to marry myself. And I literally, oh my God, this is a very special thing. So I'm a ring girly and I love my rings. And I wrote down for 2025, I'm going to marry myself. In the midst of like me selling, if you listen to my other podcast, I mentioned how I had 2 nutrition clubs. I recently sold the Hubbard location to my bestest friend ever. And she is probably the only person who I felt called to share or to like offer like something I love so much too, because I know they're going to take care of that space just as much, if not better. And with taking that step away, I celebrated by going to Tulum. So this is going to be kind of like a little 360 into the podcast, but when it comes to this diary, without like the nutrition club being like my main like business, I also am going to be a 100% certified life coach very soon. I'm almost done with my courses, but it's my Positive Fuel brand. And it's on my shirt. I'm going to kind of show it off. My little Positive Fuel.
Love that.
This is one of my first sweatshirts I've made. I think this even has Hubbard Nutrition on the back. I don't think Liberty was created yet. And I've been dropping seeds for my life coaching business, my brand, for a while now. And with time and how dots always align, when I sold Hubbard, I decided to go out to Tulum, Mexico. And it's a very sacred, holy land. And I can kind of go into like my spiritual side of everything. So I've always been like a very spiritual person. But my relationship with God has grown a lot this past year. But in Mexico, I've seen a lot of heart with flame, like the Sacred Heart. So, which is why this is like on my diary. It's part of my brand. If you go onto my Instagram, I have some new merch coming out, a new tote bag with the heart with the flame. I have tattoos, and I had no idea why I got this heart with a flame tattoo on my ring finger until I went to Mexico, and I realized it was just the alignment of this is what's next for me. And that comes down to me wanting to marry myself because I've been in really long relationships in the past. I was in an 8-year relationship, kind of on and off, 2 or 3 year relationship, Then I got into another 3-year relationship, my most recent ex. And like I said, every relationship gets better. So like that's...
Do better each time.
Oh my goodness, every single time. The most recent one was amazing. So I can just tell like the next time I'm really ready to step into a relationship, I know it's going to be better.
Followed by that recommittal to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I call it a reconciliation with who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, I had to do some real self.
And I do a lot of self-work, but when it comes to relationships, like I've never actually been like single.
Like all the way single, just you working on things by yourself type
single? So I kind of feel like that's why.
Is it scary for you to like just be like, you know what? No, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not. There's no one that I'm even like flirting with, girl. I don't even have nobody to text at this point.
I kind of want that if I'm keeping it 100 right now. To just not have anybody to text.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of crazy because like my life, and I don't know, like God will bring people in my life and I'm like, okay, well now I'm confused because I stepped into 2025 with the mindset of I'm marrying myself. That's what I was going to say. I asked my mom, my dad and my mom are divorced. They've been divorced since I was little. I said, Mom, what did you do with your wedding ring? Your wedding band? Like, where is it? And she goes, me and your dad's, it's somewhere in a box. So I literally have my mom's and my dad's wedding band on. And I use this to marry myself and to like step into that. And I want to step more into it this year. And it's kind of like not happening at the moment. I'm kind of like getting the attention from somebody, and this person is...
Because this committing to yourself, how? In what way? Like, does that mean like, okay, I'm no outsiders in? But to me, that's what it sounds like to marry yourself.
That would be what I would want, yeah.
You know what I mean? And just be for self and not even like...
Not even get attention. I don't want, yeah. So that was my initial game plan. But it's like not happening. So,
but it's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
And
so it's kind of confusing because like that's what I told myself that I wanted, and I think
we all have moments, honey.
I think it's just also crazy too because I have met somebody and I'm a list girl, and I have my ideal like husband.
What's your list?
Oh my God, I don't even think I brought that diary. That's a
top of the dome.
So it would be
top 5 things:
child of God, loyalty and trust, communication is just like on point.
Fitness, because you're a fitness girl.
You would think that fitness would be...
It doesn't bother you. You don't mind a dad bod.
I don't mind a dad bod.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't mind a dad bod. I think it was just like outgoing and like their confidence within themselves, because I am a very outgoing person. I talk to a lot of people, and I need a man who's going to be like, oh no, my girl's locked in with me. Like I don't have to worry about it.
Like not even worry about it.
And I don't. Yeah, my list is 2 pages long, and like.
Not 2 pages, Dana.
Yeah.
Not 2 pages, Dana.
It is 2 pages.
Oh, we're going to have to cut it down.
I even have like life's candles is OCD. Like they don't want a mess.
That's a lie.
I know, but you know what's crazy?
Did you say likes candles?
I likes candles. Like keeps the house clean. Like. Oh. But here's the thing. My list is like not a bad list. Like it's actually like a pretty
specific. They say you write it down.
Yeah.
Be very, very specific, all the way down to like to the T. So
and it's okay.
I got a little.
I can kind of like I can maybe like all right. I can work around this one.
Sway a few things.
So with me wanting to marry myself, like that was my goal. But then the person who like is kind of in my life right now, it's like we're like best of friends. We're always like with each other, and it kind of like does make sense. But it's just like one of those things where I feel like I'm not honoring like how
the commitment you made to yourself. Already.
Yeah. So it's like it is confusing.
But like it's just like New Year's. Like my New Year started in February. Like what do you do? Like wait, let me go back. Like wait. I had moments where it was like wait. I'm not supposed to be. In, this is not where I'm supposed to. Nope. No. You know, and it is what it is. I think that has a lot to do with us being human. It has a lot to do with, you know, sometimes your mind and your body be in two separate places and you just be like, you know. But I've been there, like, that's not what I said I was doing. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you get to going so fast, you're like, oh!
Yeah.
But it's okay to stop. It's okay to pause. Because this is your movie.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I think because we're good people, because we're considerate, because we don't want anyone to ever think that we, you know, playing with people's emotions, that's not something we do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think anyone that would involve themselves with you already knows that.
Yeah.
So, like, they know that already.
Yeah.
So that should give you the freedom to be like, understand, if you actually feel like you know who I am, then you're going to understand how I'm feeling. And you're going to respect it. And if you care for me at all, then you're going to want me to be my best self. And I don't feel like my best self right now. And I'd rather still just commit to that. Nothing wrong with it.
I know. I think and for how much I preach about communication, I think I feel like I've been very open with how I feel.
In this situation that you're talking about.
In this situation. And they are very understanding. And, like, this person's amazing. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he would be an amazing husband. He checks off basically 99.9% of the boxes.
Of the 2 pages.
You have the 2 pages.
Girl. So it's kind of like, well.
So it's like, and it's like, okay, why does it still kind of feel off? So it's like, I'm not trying to, like, say it can't be anything, but it's still, like, at the end of the day, like, honoring, like, what you want to do for yourself versus, like, just saying yes to something just because.
To please the room.
Yeah.
And also, you're committing back to yourself. And I just think sometimes I hate right person, wrong time. Been there. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this would have been so great if I was ready for it. Like, or, you know what I mean? Those are the ones that really suck. Yeah. Or like you're ready and that person still got you got some things that I'm not willing to bring into my space. And until you keep working on you. Yeah. Because it's not saying that I don't want it, but I know where I am, and now I'm at a place where I know what I want. I'm whole. Yeah. And so I've learned I can't even accept less anymore. I had for a long time. Yeah. And not saying less like it's like they're not worthy or a good person or deserve you, but it's not the time. And timing can really mess things up. I've seen things come back around. Yeah.
See, I don't know. So that's why I don't want to like speak like down on anything. It's just like everything is only getting better. And whether it's relationship, whether it's business partners, like the whole thing is they're just gradually just like making more sense, and just it matches like where I am and like in the timing I am right now. But the person, I guess like the last thing I'll really say about like that type of relationship is I do see that there's a lot of things that he can bring to me, that he offers me and he does for me, and it's like a very special relationship that I'm in right now. But I think because I didn't allow myself to have, that time after my most recent, like the end of like the most recent relationship of 3 years into like this next one, it's, I don't know, because we're taking it slow. We're not really rushing into anything, but it's like part of me still feels like I'm not honoring like my own word. But it's also like still working out at the same time because we are best friends. We are such
I want to say something, but I don't want to speak out of turn, so we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess with that, I think the business is booming, I will say now, because of it. Because like there's so much greatness within like what I'm creating right now. But I think like actual like love and marriage and having children, it's just like I can see it and it makes sense, but I'm also like there's a lot of things that I've had planned. Like I wanted to move to Italy this year.
I remember you said that.
And I was planning on it, and I'm not saying it can't happen still. It still can, but I think also just like letting go of wanting to control everything, because then maybe this is exactly how it's supposed to be. So like I don't want to say this because I didn't honor myself of marrying myself is the right thing, and what I'm doing right now is wrong, because it does still feel good. Yeah. I think for me, it's like getting more clear of finding time to slow down, You know, I don't do that. I don't ground myself as much
She
lately.
don't slow down. Data is like...
I don't. I haven't. I need to go hug a tree.
Touch some grass.
I need to go just like be in the wilderness and be Pocahontas for like a little bit. And then just like pray.
I feel like all of it always comes back down to the same bottom line.
Yeah.
Right?
That safe space.
Yeah.
With my positive fuel, I really am going to like take that next step on whatever that is this year. So I'm super excited to take on new clients. I have a few clients now that I'm working with. Yeah, and I think we shall see.
We're not half stepping in the 2025.
No.
I think we jumping all the way, we diving all the way into the pool.
Yeah, and I'm turning 30 this year.
So it's like we can't half step anymore.
30 is about to be amazing. I'm so excited.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. I was happy to see my 30s approach. I was fine with it. I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't hurt too bad.
No, I think 30 is going to be a really great time. I think more traveling.
Like everything makes sense a little bit.
Less chaos, even though I do love me some chaos.
Oh man,
I can handle it.
A little razzle dazzle.
A little.
A little razzle dazzle.
Little extra little whatever. Yeah, so I think we covered a lot of good things.
Up. And just remind them this is Dana Hughes. And I'm sure you're going to be back, girl. There's so many things we need to just talk about. We can just go on
chat
and
on.
Up. And you can find her at Liberty Nutrition. And that's on Belmont Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. If you have questions for her, if you just want to chat with a girl, just
follow me.
Good people, mentorship, life coaching. She brings positive fuel. I'm glad positive fuel came to Reminisce.
I know. It's such
Look for her.
Thing.
I'm going to have her businesses tagged. Obviously, we are... Yes. Definitely check in with Dana Hughes, man. She's great. She does every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Yes. She does a fit camp right at Liberty Nutrition. It is free. It's Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock. Yes. It is a great workout. It is good energy. It's everything. And she this is who you get, honey. She's real fun when she's working out, honey. When that music get on, you go see Dana.
Definitely, if you're not local or if you don't get out much, please just follow my Instagram. Never be afraid to reach out if you have questions or if you know anyone.
Instagram.
So my personal Instagram is going to be Dana with a few extra A's.
Not a few extra A's.
All right, let me explain it. DANAAA_Hughes, HUGHES. Once you find me, you'll see my positive fuel account in my bio, which is _positive fuel. Liberty, Ohio Nutrition. But yeah, no, the goal I have a lot of big goals for the year. I have a lot of things I still get to work on, not only for myself, but just like bigger picture wise. And I would love for more people to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to be here.
And I'm so glad. I feel like I can't wait to see how this blossoms. And I feel like you should know by now, but you gained a sister in me. Okay, and I just want to tell you that because we're good. We're connected now. You understand?
I love you.
And I hear your heart, and I'm so thankful that you are open and willing to hear mine. You know, so thank you for that. Yeah. And we're going to keep fueling each other, positive fuel.
Oh, we're in this together.
Okay, stop by and see her. And I'm just grateful for you to come.
Yeah.
Thank you for I gained a friend, y'all. You have no idea. I'm so thankful.
In the Clearview all
fam. Come on down to Liberty Nutrition, man. This is a good time. You go down there and sit down, students. There's little areas where you can go play ping pong. You can sit down, do your homework. You can work out. Her shop is really dope. So check her out. Okay. And don't forget to follow, like, share, follow us on Reminisce Pod on IG. YouTube is Reminisce Pod _ and share, man. You never know who's going to be here. And I'm just so grateful for my returning people, the people that have caught up with me ever since we got started. Thank you. Thank you for coming back and watching me again. Thank you. Hanging there with me. We growing.
Yeah,
we changing. We evolving. We doing it. So come back and see us, man. And this wraps up this episode of Reminisce. Come back and see us. Thank you.
Bye, guys.